The other thing I want to talk about is getting straight to the Tupac joint. So if you don't recognize that former couple in the picture there, that will be Neckbone from the MOB, the Mall Pyrus, and the Lady of Rage. Back in the day, Lady of Rage and Neckbone were an item from Death Row Records. Uh, if you don't know who Neckbone is, that was one of the gang members from the Pyrus, the MOB. Uh, One of Suge's main goons, I would say. That would probably be the best way to describe it for those who know a little bit of the story about Death Row. But currently, Neckbone is doing an interview on Vlad. Well, he did an interview on Vlad, and Vlad took a kilo and bagged it up in nickels and just distributing it out in little 5 minute increments, even if you get 5 minutes, right? He's stretching this one, boy. I mean, he put so much baking soda on this interview, like he done turned one brick into three. Hey, it's like every goddamn part that come out is only 4 minutes, 5 minutes, a minute. Like he is stretching this, and you possibly because Neckbone, he ain't really talking too much. He just giving him enough to get his bread, and he, like a Gene Squirrel that just be rambling and rambling and rambling. You ask him one question, and he go for 20 minutes straight. You know what I'm saying? So for him, it's just you ask him a question, real quick answer, cut and dry. He not trying to say too much for the popo to be able to indict him on anything. And he's one of the smarter people that got on Vlad and watch what he say because he knows going on Vlad will have the police at your door in no time. And you can see in his interview that he is very, 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 very aware of what he say because he knows that his past could come haunt him because he know how he was giving it up back in the day. So he's very conscious of his answers, and he's a very intelligent man for that. Take Vlad money and don't say much. Don't be like these other dudes. You start involunteering information that you wasn't asked. You know what I mean? Take the man money and run. Now, what he did address, what I've been waiting for, right, is the Trevon Lane Lakewood Mall incident, the chain incident involving Orlando Anderson and Trevon, right? Now, I knew that they brought him up there for something, right? To either try to either implicate Diddy in this in Tupac's murder, um, clear pork butt's name, or something to that matter, right? So far, from what I've seen, he's really not. He's not really defending pork butt, but you could. He's not defending him, but he's not throwing him under the bus. Same thing with Suge. He's not really defending Suge too much, and he's not throwing him under the bus. But even with Suge, he makes sure Suge get his flowers in certain situations. Because I be seeing, Vlad don't like Suge, so he be trying to make Suge look bad. And in that case, you see Neckbone defend Suge in a lot of situations, not topping him off, not kissing his butt, but just keeping it solid. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's the part. This is what I wanted to get to with the part that I seen. I think it was today. When he was asked about the Lakewood Mall situation, right? It was, did he know about a bounty on death row chains, right? And from how I viewed it, no, he didn't know nothing about no bounty on death row chains. Now, he said he had seen Southside Crips hang around Diddy. They've been around Diddy, but he didn't know nothing about no bounty on no death row chain, right? Now, I told y'all, once again, Neckbone wasn't there at the Lakewood Mall when they had the fight. I wasn't there when they had the fight. However, K-Dub was there at the fight, and K-Dub did do an interview, and he did say that the fight at the Lakewood Mall was not over no chain. He said the chain came off in the scuffle, right? Now, if you look at K-Dub's interview, if you look at Keefe D, one of Keefe D's interview, it is clear to me, right? And if you listen to Pork Butt, right, it's clear to me that Trevon Lane and Baby Lane, I'm going to give the backstory one more time to bring it up to this point with Neckbone's interview. Trevon Lane, Pork Butt made it quite clear that Trevon Lane is originally from Long Beach and originally was a Crip, right? Orlando Anderson originally was from Long Beach and was originally a Long Beach Crip. Trevon and Orlando Anderson knew each other from Long Beach. They both were Crips. According to one of Keefe D interviews, one of the guys that was with Trevon, it was Trevon, K-Dub, and another dude. I can't think of the other dude name. But even that other dude, according to Keefe D, allegedly, he also was a former Crip that turned blood, just like Trevon Lane moved from Long Beach to Compton and became a Mar Paru and became a blood, right? So when they ran into each other at the Lakewood Mall, it wasn't about Bad Boy. It wasn't about a death row chain. It was because, allegedly, when Orlando saw Trevon and they was buddies, homies, on the same Crip set, or whatever, when they seen each other, it was over set tripping, allegedly. And set tripping will be going from one set to another set and them beefing over colors, right? So Trevon runs into Orlando at the Lakewood Mall, right? And Trevon is no longer a Crip. The other guy, not K-Dub, because K-Dub, I think, has probably always been a Pyru, a Mar Pyru, or Blood, or whatever. But the other guy with them, according to Keefe D's interview, said that the other guy that was with them, he knew his mother, and they lived in his neighborhood, and then he moved, and he I guess apparently turned blood. So when they seen him, it was all over Bloods and Crips, or Pyrus and Crips. It had nothing to do with Diddy. It had nothing to do with the Bounty and Death Row chain, right? And if you listen to K-Dub's interview, K-Dub tells you they never took the chain, right? Now I'm giving you this backstory for you to understand that it is very crystal clear that Tupac was set up if you're listening to what I'm saying. Now, if K-Dub tells you that the fight, and he was there, that the fight wasn't over a chain, and the fight, the chain just came off in the scuffle. Third, they never took Trevon's chain. Trevon went home with his death row chain, right? Remember these three facts coming from K-Dub, because K-Dub was there, right? Now, Neckbone wasn't there. But during this time, allegedly, Neckbone and Trevon was living together, according to his interview with Vlad. I don't know if they was roommates. I don't know if one guy had a place and they allowed the other guy to live there or whatever. I don't know, right? However, none of that matters. If they say they was living together, they was living together, right? Now, Neckbone states that they had a fight, right? There's no mention of no bounty. He says he believes that he been seeing Southside chilling with Diddy and them. So when they jumped on Trevon and them, that he felt like, oh, they was tripping because they was hanging out with Diddy or whatever, right? That has never been a part of the story. It's always said that, oh, they jumped on them over a bounty, which, like I said, K-Dub says it was not over no death row chain. He never heard of no bounty. Clearly, Neckbone never heard of no bounty. Suge said it wasn't no bounty. There never was no bounty. We know Paul Button them concocted that story as an alibi to make it look justified why Pac took off and ran and attacked Orlando Anderson, right? Instagram, what up? I'm live on YouTube. The link is in my stories if you want to come over here and watch, or you could just stay right there. So with Neckbone interview in this part today, he clearly states he was living with Trevon Lane at this time. He clearly states, just like K-Dub stated, Trevon Lane chain was never took. K-Dub said his chain wasn't took. They left the Lakewood Mall after the fight. Trevon had his chain. Neckbone, living with Trevon Lane at the time, said Trevon Lane came home, told him about the fight. Trevon had his chain. right? Neckbone said he had no acknowledgement of a bounty. K-Dub said he didn't have no knowledge of a bounty on the death row chain, right? We know that Pork Butt told Frank to lie at the MGM incident and make up a story and say that Orlando Anderson tried to take Pac chain, right? As an alibi to why they had a fight, right? Now, according to history, according to Pork Butt, hundreds of interviews, hundreds of vlogs, he states that Trevon Lane went over to Tupac and said, "That's the guy right there that took my chain," right? We all are clear on this, right? Has anybody heard anything different? Or we are all 100% on the same page, right? That the story was told that Tupac ran and beat up Orlando Anderson because Trevon Lane went over to him and said, "That's the dude that took my chain," right? Now I told y'all what Suge told me what Trevon said to Pac, but I'll get to that after this, right? Is there anybody that disagree that the Dirty Compton Pig, Pork Butt, has not been running with the narrative for years, if not decades, right? It's been 3 decades since this incident happened, right? And the story's always been told that Trevon Lane whispered to Pac, "Yo, that's the dude that took my chain." And it's always been that this story around a bounty on death row chains, and the reason why Tupac went and fired on it is means jumped on or beat up. That's a West Coast term if you don't understand what I mean. I'm not talking about fired on with a gun. That Pac went and fired on Orlando because Trevon Lane told him, "That's the dude that took my chain," right? Now, I say all that to say this. If you don't think Tupac was set up, this is a clear indication to you. If you're a little slow, this will put a little turbo boost on your brain, right? If you got Neckbone and you got K-Dub and you got anybody else out there telling you that Trevon Lane his chain never got taken, right? Now you got K-Dub walked out of the Lakewood Mall with Orlando, helped him fight, right? And know for a fact his chain never got took. And now, thanks to Vlad, and Neckbone probably gonna get his culo subpoenaed just because he made this statement on Vlad, right? Because now he gave a statement saying that he knows that Trevon came home with his chain and he was living with him. Vlad know how to line them up for the defense and the prosecution. He's probably going to be I know the defense is going after him. They definitely going to go after him for to be a witness, because now he just gave a statement saying that Trevon Lane came home with his chain, right? So here's my thing. If we know for 110% fact by now, right? Because we know that Neckbone was around Trevon after the Lakewood Mall, right? You know he came home, and he was there the day they jumped on Orlando, right? So he knew when they jumped on Orlando, right, that he never got his chain taken. He knew Trevon chain never got taken, right? Now, use your brain. I'm not having y'all think my thoughts. Think about it. If you don't think Tupac was set up, right? If you know for a fact that that Trevon chain never got took, and the people with Death Row story is Tupac jumped on Orlando because Trevon said, yo, there go the dude that took my chain. And you know for a fact that his chain has never been taken. Why would Trevon lie and tell Pac that, yo, that's the dude that took my chain and his chain never got took? Let me say that again for those who are just a little bit slower, right? Think about Orlando standing there waiting, right? Keep that in mind. Keep in mind that Tupac never got to see Mike Tyson after the fight because Suge told him, yo, come on, man, we got to go. Keep in mind, them walking out. Remember the MGM Grand video? Them walking out. Orlando standing there waiting, right? And Trevon goes to Tupac and says, there goes the guy that took my chain, the chain that never been took. Why would he lie to Tupac and say, yo, that's the dude that took my chain when the chain never been taken?